slight transmission error saying that Mataiga has resigned, which is not possible. So in board 2, let's just go through the moves. You can see quite a bunch of moves being played between Jadon and Robert McLeod. Out of the opening, this is a very critical game. Of course, Robert also trying to kind of close the gap. He's at 6 points, if I'm not wrong, and he's trying to get into 7 points. So the game has to be a fight. Yeah. So McLeod starts with e4, e5 by not McLeod. Jadon starts with e4, e5 by Robert. Knight f3, knight c6, and bishop c4. Now this is the Italian game. Bishop c5, the gioco piano, which is almost the most common move. And after c3, knight f6, d3, castles. We have d5 by Robert. So d5 means, okay, this is a combative way to kind of deal with it. You could play the slow maneuver with the, okay, not maneuver, but the slow move with d6 and then try to develop your bishop maybe to g4 or e6. In this case, I think Robert just decides, let's kind of create some tension in the center. And after takes, we have rook e1, bishop g4. So bishop g4 just pins the knight. There was an attack on e5. And he's pinning the knight to the queen in this direction. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Proceed, you can come here and replace it.
Okay. So knight bd2, knight...
Don't look at me.
Okay.
Yes. So camera guy.
Okay, knight b6 was played, probably kind of hinting that. Okay, h3 kicking out the bishop, and now Robert is deciding where to place this bishop. You can give it away, you can just maintain the pin, or you can go back. But I don't think going back is an option. I mean, right now there's a lot of pressure on e5. So if you decide to move away with your bishop, okay, which McLeod has done, we have pressure on e5. I mean, there's moves like g4, which you need to be careful because sometimes it could weaken your king. But after g4, bishop g6 or something, you might be able to win this pawn on e5. Anyway, McLeod has not captured, not McLeod, Jadon has not captured the pawn, and instead goes bishop to b3. And that's the life position to which McLeod has captured on d3. Now, of course, there's a fancy move here with the knight takes c5, attacking the queen, and okay, leaving the queen hanging on d1. But after that, you trade queens, and if black captures the knight, you capture the bishop on h5. If I'm not wrong.
Yeah. So it's sort of a queen exchange, but with a pawn. As compensation.
There's no compensation actually because you captured a pawn on d3.
You've stolen a pawn.
Yeah. So that is on board 2. On board 3, we have Omolo Kenneth battling Martin Njoroge. These two, of course, they're just now having fun. Both players cannot join the team. And Njoroge is at 1 point. I think Omolo Kenneth, is it 3 points or 4 points? 4 points actually.
4 points.
Yeah. Omolo Kenneth has gone for decided to go for d4.
Let me put the rankings on the big screen.
So d4, e6, e4, and after d5 we kind of transpose into a French defense, which could result after move 1 e4, which could result after move 1 e4, e6, d4, d5. Yeah. On the board. Sorry, not e5, but d6. But anyway, the players decide to go into some kind of a different move order, and after knight c3, now we're in some kind of a Paulsen variation of the French defense, and Njoroge is still thinking at this point. That is in board 3. Board 4, we have Gohil Mehul. Irungu Brian facing Gohil Mehul. Let's just go through how the game went. So e4, e6 by Mehul. Mehul decides not to go for the Caro-Kann defense. We've seen him play the Caro-Kann defense. This time goes for the French defense. Knight f3, not d4 by Irungu. Knight f3, d5, and after knight c3, knight f6, e5, knight from f to d7, and after d4, bishop e7, knight e2, knight e2, c5, c3, knight c6, and okay, this is French variation, the two knights variation. Yeah, I can see the database saying two knights variation of the French defense. And okay, this is just some kind of normal French defense where you advanced French where you defend, overprotect this, you take the whole center. Black will try to fight back with c5, put a lot of pressure on this d4 square, And this is going to be a long game probably, with a lot of maneuvers. The knight maybe trying to find some place, maybe on g3, sometimes h3, h4. There could be anything happening on that side of the board. Go Hill Mehul. In another board we have Kika Kyle facing Boera Felix.
This game is difficult for the family because the Kyle wins, I think, it's 0%. So Kyle is picking up on Magana, but in third place, I think it's contract number 3 or something. So if you use this game, because Magana cannot be used, what about it right now? So if you use this game, it's 0%. So Boera, okay, so E4 uses the modern defense manager. D4 is the D3. D3, knight f3. B5 on the h3, h3, okay. So Boera will probably this one faster, but probably will try to push this one and maybe get to the later one. Or I need to have now where there's a major started significant development. Yeah, okay. So that's a particular history where I think the business started with we have a more economic development in the just see in the because child also remember child has not started it might be thinking about that. So child is taking for more like long started, but it's not very yeah, so plan like this to go and the company will be okay, so that's child village. Where the village station not before but in capacity. Okay, this is going to work development because capacity is not going to get into the team. So if you take by let us train this them. But when this people so I think the main move here would be not training but is we like to develop the training and the skill in a lot of these are so students like the three because and the person make a very and but we give nothing so, okay, these are very, you can usually
Yeah, maybe it's preparation. It's okay again according to the computer, but okay. This is a very risky decision. I guess the tournament situation is what forces her to do this. So queen e7, knight d5 takes, and okay, now the players are thinking.
I think if queen trades, now this decision of open file doesn't really, it's not so.
Oh, the queen has been traded. So if black has traded the queens, which is, I don't consider it ideal, I think.
No, it's drawn.
Yeah, you would have tried to create an attack on this side of the board if the queens were on the board.
You know,
97. Okay, so I expected knight before, and maybe there was some, but maybe there was h6, a3, sorry, to chase away the knight.
yeah.
So maybe yeah, it's just a playable position now. A long grind. We don't know what will happen. Of course, the players are trying to get any some kind of advantage from this position.
But I think if they continue like this, because right out of the opening, queens are off the board, knights are like a pair of
It's a
minor
knight,
pieces.
yeah, knight
and
versus bishop. Sorry,
I think
with two rooks on the board. There's a we have two sets of double pawns on the b file.
yeah, but if this goes into an end game,
Yeah,
look at this pawn here, and
there's a pawn on d5, a weak pawn.
yeah. So I think if it goes into an end game, that pawn.
This pawn will be weak in the long run.
Yeah,
okay.
if they can exchange off the knight for the bishop, because if the knight and the bishop are there during the end game, bishop just here and you can't do anything to that pawn.
Yeah, but bishop c4 can be targeted.
Not now.
Oh, yeah, I mean later on also.
Yeah, later on.
Yeah, okay. So this pawn is weak in the long run if you're not careful. And right now there's a direct attack on a2. So you have to respond as white somehow. Knight e7 just gets the knight out of danger and asks you to respond to the pawn hanging on it, which can either be pushed or...
Okay, let's see in the process. Then come up. Let's see. But we did not listen to him. Let us see. And there are some of them and see what happens.